I haven't been back to my old GameCube copy of Pikmin for a while. The series is a much larger franchise now. Well, maybe. There's 4 main titles currently. I'm not sure if that makes it a huge franchise. But as good as these sequels are, none of them managed to captivate me quite like that original game. It just felt so unique at the time. And this manual artwork is still so incredibly charming. It just makes you miss video game manuals. This is such a GameCube-y feeling game. The franchise did begin on the console all the way back in late 2001, and I remember it did feel pretty exciting at the time. A brand new IP developed by Nintendo, created and produced by one of its most esteemed game designers. Not something that really comes around all that often. And the series does share a few minor resemblances to Super Mario. I had always assumed the game concept was surely inspired by the Super Mario 128 demo, although within Pikmin you can only have 100 of them on the field at once. The main character of Pikmin has that slightly similar shape to Mario, a pudgy body, a round nose, and a name that is even derived from Mario. The original Pikmin has seen a couple of re-releases over the years. As far as I can tell, there aren't too many significant differences between them all. There's a few obvious changes, such as the addition of pointer controls, true widescreen support. So maybe the GameCube edition is the worst way to experience the OG Pikmin nowadays. But there's just a very specific feel about seeing your old game. The same old game you bought back in 2002 on the original hardware it was intended for. It's pretty magical. Pointer controls are a welcome addition within Pikmin, but I do still find it very easy to just jump back in with a regular controller. Somehow it still feels right. Encircling different objects or enemies by rotating that C-stick, it just feels so good. Just this little function here alone makes this game feel so GameCube. The game is a rather unique puzzle strategy title, although I do remember seeing that first trailer and was almost immediately reminded of Lemmings. Both series saw you take charge of cute little creatures that are utterly helpless without player input, but that is largely where the similarities between the two end. The player character as such within Lemmings was represented by an on-screen cursor, whereas Pikmin saw you play the role of a marooned astronaut, Captain Olimar. The game is set within really beautiful picturesque garden environments. This was a real looker for the GameCube back then. But despite that soothing feel of the presentation and the soft feel in the music, Pikmin is anything but a relaxing experience. Pikmin can be stressful to play. There's a constant ticking timer on the screen. A single day can last only up to 13 minutes. There is no option to return to the previous days, and there's only so many save files you could have at once. Or at least it was for me back then when I didn't have access to multiple memory cards like I do now. I did always find it was best to just scout ahead, explore the map and plan out the day, and then simply just reload your save. It's funny though, I have no real-life time management skills, but I can just about organise my Pikmin. How quickly and efficiently you manage your time is essential to completing the game, breaking down stone walls, opening up shortcuts, bridges that must be constructed, and the Pikmin do need your constant supervision, tending to charge ahead, regardless of the potential dangers nearby, or simply stand idle in place waiting for your commands. Fail to gather up all of your Pikmin before the day's end, and they will be devoured by the nighttime predators. This game is actually pretty harsh now that I think about it. Before your arrival on this planet, the Pikmin lie dormant in their onion cocoon, seemingly at the bottom of the food chain, a species that were perhaps on the brink of extinction even. The basic premise of Pikmin is helping these little creatures to survive, who in turn help Captain Olimar, who has crash-landed on this unknown planet. Olimar must repair his spaceship by gathering up all of its missing parts and escaping within 30 days before his life support systems fail, unable to breathe the planet's oxygen. There are 30 pieces of your spacecraft to retrieve, although only 25 of them are essential for making your escape. Since Olimar cannot carry the pieces of his spaceship himself, he must command the Pikmin to do the heavy lifting for him. Each object you find has a numbered requirement of Pikmin in order to transport it. To build up your number of Pikmin, you simply need to command them to carry the number pellets back to the Onion home base, so they can be then absorbed into Pikmin seeds. After the seedling has sprouted, the Pikmin can then be plucked from the ground. This really is the closest we'll ever get to Nintendo making a straight-up gardening simulator. You can also create seeds by defeating the various creatures of the planet and transporting their lifeless carcasses back to the Onion. It's a lot like being in command of a troop of ants. The Pikmin find strength in numbers and can easily overwhelm some of these gigantic creatures. It's slightly horrifying to watch. Pikmin is honestly a fairly easy game. but I can still feel that added pressure. Like Majora's Mask or Dead Rising, Pikmin is stressful, but stressful in a good way. Whereas the later sequels would greatly expand upon Pikmin types, within the original it's merely just 3 different colours, which is kind of charming in that simplicity now. Each Pikmin have their own attributes. Red are immune to fire and have the strongest attack power, blue can breathe underwater, and yellow are able to be thrown higher and carry bombs to break down stone walls. Yellow Pikmin are also immune to electricity, but I had completely forgotten this hazard isn't actually introduced into the second game. The Pikmin also have 3 different stages of evolution, the leaf, bud and flower, with the leaf being the weakest and slowest, while a fully bloomed flower Pikmin are the strongest. The final evolution of a Pikmin can be initiated by letting them mature underground, or just by letting them drink nectar. Flower Pikmin can potentially have their petals shaken off during combat, and simply revert back to being closed buds and then simply to leaf. Pikmin 1 just feels so small, so quaint in comparison to the sequels. There's very little in terms of extra content. There is a challenge mode with the main goal simply being to grow as many Pikmin as possible within a single day, but I always found plenty of incentive to just simply replay the game again, getting better high scores and earning one of the different endings. Being such a short and simple experience is actually one of the game's main strengths. It's been so easy to replay over the years. The Pikmin sequels introduced all kinds of new mechanics, new game modes, more story, rather expensive looking CG, even bigger areas to explore, and the games just felt a little less harsh. Just take the Emperor Bulblax for example, the fearsome final boss of the original game. In the sequels, the Emperor Bulblax is just another mere enemy type to contend with, and you'll have multiple encounters with them. Pikmin is such an unusual little game, it's very apt to the GameCube. I don't know what it is about GameCube games actually, but they always just felt so odd, so creatively driven. I mean, just look at the console itself, it's so weird. It's a little cube, I love it. OG Pikmin just belongs on this thing. Producer Shigeru Miyamoto has often said the inspiration for The Legend of Zelda was influenced from his own childhood, exploring the forests and caves near his home. Likewise, I can imagine a middle-aged Miyamoto tending to his garden on a Sunday morning where inspiration surely struck. But what I really love most of all about the OG Pikmin is just the aesthetic. Zooming out the camera and it feels like we're almost a part of a nature documentary. Or just reminded me of whenever I flicked through illustrated botanical guides or entomology books. Everything within Pikmin just feels so natural and organic. And I am still completely obsessed with this game's creature design. I really need that Pikmin bestiary book. I just like to imagine their various ecosystems and life cycles. Like the Emperor Bulblax, this ancient looking creature. It has grass and weeds grown all over it. It's obviously existed for decades, so can it be communicated with? Can Pikmin grow old? Well, maybe not if I'm in charge, I keep accidentally getting mine killed. But what are the Pikmin origins exactly? Where does the onion come from? And the character design just always felt a little bit odd in the original Pikmin. Like everything hasn't been totally refined yet, like within the sequels. And there is a lot of that what I like to call slightly off-model charm. Just look at how weird Captain Olimar looks in the OG game. It's beautiful. The designs within Pikmin can look very cutesy. Captain Olimar's spaceship, for example, looks very toy-like in its appearance. But at the same time, Pikmin can look a little bit dark and be kind of violent. I just love that juxtaposition between these two themes of being cute and dark. It's almost like a children's fairy tale. Pikmin 1 just feels like the darkest game of the franchise. Is this really the only Pikmin title that featured the infected fungus Pikmin? You know, I could have swore they were in one of these sequels. I love these guys, they're so creepy. The Pikmin series has never specifically mentioned it's set within Earth, or at least as far as I know. We do see a lot of man-made objects in these sequels, but never any humans. So is Pikmin set within a post-apocalyptic Earth? I still find Pikmin 1 to feel so captivating and still very immersive. It's from a time where developers were just trying so hard to immerse you in their games through limited technology. I can think of so many GameCube games that do this. And Pikmin's photorealism is just a style I kind of associate with the GameCube nowadays. Semi-realistic looking environments contrasted against the vibrant colours and chunky character models of those wacky looking Nintendo characters. I really can't think of another console that just has this specific look. The first Pikmin is just merely you, Captain Olimar, isolated on this strange little planet. Nobody else but you and your Pikmin. It's a very lonely feeling game world. There's those brief little monologues by Onuma, lamenting on the fact that he may never see his family again. He may die alone here on this weird little planet. And there's the constant ticking clock reminding you of his impending doom. Achieve the best ending of the game by finding all 30 pieces of your spacecraft, and you seemingly taught the Pikmin to fend for themselves, becoming the dominant species of this planet. Pikmin no longer retreat to the safety of their onions during nightfall. Back in 2002, I didn't really expect to see a Pikmin sequel, nor was I expecting it to become a franchise. I very naively believed it was just a one-and-done game on the wacky old GameCube, so seeing that ending just gave it a nice sense of finality about it. Perhaps we've even just doomed this planet and ruined its fragile ecosystem. It's now become overrun by Pikmin. Would it have been better if Onuma had just simply never found that onion? Of course, being utterly hopeless at Pikmin in 2002, I remember my original playthrough resulted in the bad ending. I was terrible at this game. Watching Captain Onuma fail to escape the planet, his incomplete spaceship making a futile attempt to break through the atmosphere, and then just immediately come crashing back down. The Pikmin carry his lifeless body over to the onion to then be reborn into a mutant hybrid Pikmin creature. The Pikmin cheer and jump for joy in the background, before the game quietly takes you back to the title. I cannot think of a more haunting game over screen. It's incredibly dark for a Nintendo game. Thanks for watching and take care.